One other important thing that we did was write some principles for connection planning, because really we felt that so what is driving our thinking around developing plans? In the past we'd had media beliefs, which really talked about, well, so what is our belief versus reach on versus frequency, or continuity versus bursting, and so on and so forth. But we said we are now at a higher level playing field, so we really need to think about connection planning at a broader level. So we have 5. The first one won't surprise you if you saw my previous chart. Our plans are created consumer-centric and media-neutral. We do not favor any medium over any other medium. That means we are not believers that, we first built the television plan, take last year's plan, add the current inflation, or as the case might be, deflation, and then plan for this year. So we don't do that. At the same time, we also don't want to say 10% of our budget will go into digital, or we're moving from on-air to online, or we're moving from TV analog to TV digital. We're not favoring anything over anything else. Consumer-centric, media-neutral is the starting point. Second one is plan for what you want the consumers to think, feel, and do. We used to be really good at planning for what we wanted the consumer to do. Buy this, participate in that, come here and sample something. It really is, as we've now learned, and there's a lot of modeling work that sits behind this, really learned that it is really important that you need to hit the 3 at the same time. Third one is what I call content, context, content, contact, and context. All 3 need to be planned and need to be considered when you put together your plan. And this is really where also how we work with our agencies is being severely influenced, and I'll show that to you in a minute. And then finally, plans need to be continuously reviewed and revised. We used to be a company that would sort of create the plan calendar, and then we tinker with it, but materially those plans wouldn't really change a lot. If it was planned to launch in August, it would launch in August. Whether we had the right commercial or the wrong commercial, or no commercial at all, or whether we had the right sort of content or not. And so we really now need to think about our environment is changing so fast. If there's a material change in the environment, we need to change accordingly. And this is really hard because we make long-term commitments with retailers. And so we need to sort of manage the balance between the two. But this is something that is really important as well. So what is the difference between connection planning and media planning? This sort of picture hopefully shows it a little bit. Connection planning literally runs the gamut, goes across all the different touch points, and we expect the person or the agency or the people in charge of that, developing that connection plan and the connection strategy, to be able to plan across all of those different touch points. This has a significant impact on how we think about how we work with our media agencies and strategy agencies. Because obviously, if you want to be able to plan across all of those touch points, then you need to have a number of different skills and a very different understanding of how sort of connection plans work versus whether you sort of are just playing in the media space or just in the digital space. And we have really gone to a model where we say, if we believe in the 3 C's, if we believe in consumer-centric, and if we believe in that whole idea of that planning across all of the different touch points, we've got to brief everybody at the same time. I didn't have 50 people in the room. I think that would be a challenge for us as well. But we do have usually anywhere between 3 and 6 agencies in the room. We limit the attendance to 2 people per agency, so we manage it that way. But it is crucial that everybody sort of starts at the same time, has the same understanding, walks away with an aligned sort of vision of what the task at hand is, and comes back with one plan. And one plan means not all those people again in one room, and then the media people talk about the media plan, the creative people talk about creative executions, and the digital people talk about what they are going to do. No, they talk about one plan, and it's organized around our brief, and it's organized around the outcomes of what we want from the brief, rather than the sort of the siloed approach. And then this happened. So, I mean, it is a reality, and I want to talk about it, as I said, in the context of what we were trying to do. First of all, and we've heard it this morning in a couple of other presentations as well, and Bernard also just talked about it, we are not cutting back. We are certainly chasing pennies down the hall. We are certainly on a major productivity drive, But from our CEO, Muhtar Khan, down to Joe Tripodi, our Chief Marketing Officer, we are committed to staying in the race. We also have seen all the data that basically says, spend your way through the recession, and you'll come out stronger at the other end, and we're very committed to that. We are, however, on a major productivity drive. Productivity for us is two things. It certainly is efficiency, but it is equally also effectiveness. I liked Bernard's chart a lot with the sort of the circle that he showed. We're thinking very similarly in that way. We want the efficiencies to lead to more effectiveness. We want the effectiveness to lead to more efficiencies. And we believe that probably the bigger opportunity in productivity is in effectiveness. If we can get our products to be more effective, we're probably, as a result, also more efficient. So we're not just focusing on cutting cost or lowering budgets or doing anything like that. We are really focusing a lot of attention and innovation, actually, around how we understand that our campaigns and activities work. And so for media specifically, we sort of do it in three ways. We're either looking for a lower media investment with the same impact, which is the same for less, or you can look at the same media investment with more impact, which is more for the same, or the combination of the two, and that's obviously where we want to play on the right-hand side, because that would be the combination of effective and efficient. Phew, that was 15 minutes. I have a couple of pet peeves that I'm obviously not going to have time to talk about, but maybe we can sort of leave that as a starting point for conversations later on. I really hate the notion of working versus non-working budgets when people look at how to evaluate investments. If it's non-working, then how the hell are we spending money on it? So we really need to come up with a different terminology. So anybody who sort of wants to have a go at that, I would really like to hear your ideas. I really get annoyed by the yes we can mentality from some of our agencies. No matter what I ask them, they will always say, yes, no, we do that. No, we have that. Yeah, no, we do have search optimization. No, we do sort of digital and mobile. And yes, they may be doing that, but let's be honest. And I have actually mostly honest agencies, and they'll tell me sometimes, no, we're actually not really good in that market, or no, we're actually not really good at that, and you should probably look somewhere else. I really don't like the notion that IMC is 360, and I hope I sort of have converted you today that 360 is when you put the brand in the middle and you have sort of a little bubble chart with your activities around that, or your campaign in the middle. I really think we should put integrated marketing communications at the forefront of our thinking, and that's when we put the consumer in the middle. I really hate sort of boxing in traditional versus non-traditional. We heard that a couple of times already over the last 2 days. Hard versus soft savings. What are soft savings? Soft savings sound like it's not really serious. So we've actually changed the terminology in our productivity drive, and we call it hard savings versus value-added investments. So it's not hard versus soft, it's hard versus value-added. I really don't want to hear in briefings or from media partners that have sort of a holistic media offering. And then we can also offer digital or interactive. I don't know what that means. There's everything could be digital and everything can be interactive. So let's not sort of use that anymore as a coin phrase. And then finally, and this is also really important for us, we are moving away from the taximeter fee model into value-based compensation. Nick Bryan referenced it briefly yesterday. We pay for value and performance in our agency relationships. Last year we started with our media agencies. This year we're converting our creative agencies globally into that model, and all our other agencies will follow. And I'll gladly talk in more detail about that later on. Muchas gracias.